Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video you already know what we are doing. We're going through my round 3 AFL tips. So yeah, please do like and subscribe if you wish. It would help out the channel a lot. And yeah, let's jump straight into the tips after the reviews, of course. So yeah, we kick-started last round with St Kilda v Collingwood, and for this tip I went with Collingwood to win by 4 against my Saints. And I am so happy that I got this tip wrong. St Kilda actually won by 15. The Pies are 0-3. We forced the Pies to go 0-3. It was a pretty good game. We got out to a 33-point lead. A couple of frees to us I thought were pretty poor. Pretty questionable. Also, that out-of-bounds goal from Jack Hines, I thought it was out of bounds. But either way, it was still a great goal. But yeah, I don't think we were... The pumps say the Pies were robbed. I don't think so. We dominated. We deserved the win. And yeah, up the mighty Sainters, we go 1-1 and we forced the Pies to go on 3. So yeah, very happy about that on the Thursday night. Then this is a tip that I wanted to get right. I wanted Adelaide to win by 22. The Cats actually won by 19. And to be honest with you, if there's a big disappointer of the round, it's the Crows. I thought they were absolutely dreadful. Now, I know I say dreadful, only a 19-point loss to what is a pretty good Cats outfit, but they're back at home. It's meant to be a fortress. I know it got close at some stages, but I'm just poor with the start. And usually I say this with the Crows, they don't start seasons well, you know. Last year they were 0-2. The year before, I think they started off like 1-3. So, yeah, they never start off the season well, the Crows. But, yeah, I started horribly to the round. I started off 0-2. Then it gets slightly better. I went with Fremantle only to win by 7. I actually won by 26, but you can't take away the fact that North were up by 32 at one point. Fremantle just looked slow and lethargic to North. They let them score 50 and a half, which I've never seen North Melbourne do in a half, probably since maybe, I don't know, a few years back. But North still able to score lots. You'd still be happy if you're a Fremantle supporter. A little bit concerning in that first half, but then they came back. I wouldn't treat it like a comeback if you're a Fremantle fan, considering who the opponent is. It's a very inexperienced young North Melbourne side, but Freo won there. First tip correct of the round. I knew I shouldn't have done this, but I went with the Hawks by 9. Melbourne absolutely flogged them. Hawthorn couldn't score. Melbourne won by 55. Not much to need to say there. Then we had probably one of the games of the round, a high-scoring one. I went to Swans by 30. This is my best result yet. I went with the Swans by 21. They actually won by 30. So, yeah, high-scoring game. Obviously, Peter Wright looking for a suspension just helps out Saints because he kicked 2, I think. He was pretty good on the night. Again, I think they should add this red card rule because, you know, he shouldn't have done that. And he still had a pretty good game, but Swans winning there. Then I went with the Dogs to win by 5. They actually won by 48. Just that first quarter, which you would be disappointed if you were a Gold Coast supporter. They conceded 55 points, obviously, in the first quarter. So, yeah, you'd be disappointed if you're a Suns fan. Went with the Power by 30. Keep doing this. I went the Power by 26, actually won by 30. I finish off the round strong, getting all the tips correct. I went the Giants by 62. They actually won by 65. Pretty even first quarter. Then Giants obviously pulling away. So, yeah, that's my round review. I got, I believe, how many did I get this round? I got, how do you see? I think I got 5 out of 8. Let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the good thing about ESPN is that it tells you, but I still like Super Brew. I might go on ESPN next week, actually, just to change it up a bit. But we start off with the winless grand final teams at the Gabba. Thursday, March 28th, we have Collingwood taking on Brisbane. Both teams are undefeated. Both teams are winless so far. Brisbane 0-2, Collingwood 0-3. And you look at the odds, I think the odds are going with Brisbane to win. Obviously, Brisbane's last game, they're playing at home, but Brisbane's last game at the Gabba, they did lose to Carlton. So, again, Collingwood are a big club. They could come out with the upset here, and maybe they want a bit of fight since they 0-2. Obviously, Brisbane with the bye last week, they are 0-2. Still winless sides in round 3. But yeah, this one's going to be interesting because if Brisbane win here, Collingwood will go 0-4. The Premiers go 0-4. The Cats went 0-3 last year, but 0-4? 0-4? I can never recall the last time that happened. I don't think that's ever happened. I know 0-3's happened last year. Obviously, I think used to happen a long time ago. This should be close. I'm going to go with Brisbane in a thriller to win by 7 points, though. I think I want to see Collingwood go on for. It'll just be great, but I think Brisbane, they'll want to be coming out firing. 0-2 start, 0-3 start for Collingwood, and 0-2 start for Brisbane. I think that they'll get a bit of a bounce back win at home and win by 7 points in a pretty close one. Obviously, there. Okay. Now we move on to our Good Friday clash between North Melbourne and the Blues. And North Melbourne are on the complete opposite form to Carlton. Carlton are 2-0 and North Melbourne are 0-2 coming into this game, obviously. Against Fremantle, convincing first half. But again, you sort of do have to give it to North. Even though they're a young and experienced team, it was poor. I feel like if Fremantle should have won, they should have won by under 10 points. And they really, if not anything, should have won. They shouldn't have let it get out to a 26-point margin. I really thought that they would just take that game away, control it. Obviously for North, but they couldn't get it done. And then the Blues, again, off a bye. So we can't really read what the Blues did in round 2, obviously. So had a bye. This one, I actually rate this game, but you never know. You never know what happens sometimes. Upsets has to happen. I'm going to tip North by 3. Now, I'm sorry, Carlton fans, but I said you wouldn't do that well this year. I'm going with North. I know they played convincingly, then choked, but I think this time they're just going to come out. I may change my tip in later in the week, but I'm actually going to go North with the upset. I think this one should be a close game. And if Carlton win, it shouldn't really be above 30 points. I feel like North should make it competitive. They're turning into that side now. So I'm going to go North in an upset by 3 there. Now we head over to Optus Stadium, obviously. I'm probably thinking about going to this game. I probably will go to this game. But we have Freo taking on Adelaide. Now, obviously, the Crows are 0-2. Again, Fremantle are the complete opposite, 2-0. Wow, they are looking like a final side. Even though it wasn't as convincing win over North, they still got the job done. The Crows were even poorer. They really just lost that game. Poor fourth quarter, obviously. So this one should be interesting, but I'm expecting Adelaide. I know Fremantle bet Brisbane at home, but I feel like the Crows will give a bit of a response in this game, actually. I think it should be close. Obviously, Luke Jackson had a pretty good game last week, so it'll be interesting to see what goes on here. Caleb Strong looking like an absolute star. I think I'll go with the Crows by 13 points. I just think that if they start off 0-3, I really don't think they can make finals. I know the Pies are 1-3, and I'm still thinking they'll make finals, but their side that's won the premiership, they can turn it around easily. The Crows, I don't know. So I'm going to go with the Crows to get a bounce-back win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Freo do win this game. Should be a close one, and yeah, definitely will be watching this game if I'm not at the game, so yeah. Then we move on to Saturday game at 1:20 my time. Obviously, I'm in Perth. We have Essendon taking on the Saints, both on the same form, 1-1 for each team. I remember last year, this was when we went 3-0, I think. Also, so I haven't tipped us again this season. Last year, I think I tipped us in round 3, not until round 3, and this is round 3. But obviously, the Saints last week, they got it done for Spud. That was for you, Spud. They haven't won a Spuds game yet, I don't think. But yeah, that was a massive upset win to make the Pass go on 3. That was for you, Spud. What a way to do it for Spud to beat the Premiers. And the Bombers obviously disappointing against Sydney. Now, obviously, Peter Wright will be out for this game. And we are looking at a few injuries for the Saints. Obviously, Liam Henry out for 2 months. And Max King with that little suspension on, obviously on, I forgot who it was, a Collingwood player. So yeah, this one should be interesting. But despite all the injuries and outs we have, I actually think I haven't tipped us yet. I am going to tip the Saints here. I tipped us round 3 last year against the Bombers. I'm going to tip us to have our first win My first tip for the Saints this season again. I'm going to go with the Saints by 15. It shouldn't be any more than that 20-point margin for any team with the win. I remember a couple of years ago, though, Essendon, we played pretty poor against Essendon. I remember they beat us by 75, and then they got an upset win when they were sitting like 16th on the ladder the week before they just lost to West Coast. So, and we lost to them that game. So this is really a 50-50 game, but I think my Saints will be able to get it done despite the injuries and the outs that we have. Essendon obviously out with Peter Wright, so that is pretty big. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints by 15. Next up at the Adelaide Oval, this will be the last game at Adelaide Oval before gather round. We have Port Adelaide taking on the D's in what I think should be a pretty good clash. I'll definitely be tuning into this one at the Adelaide Oval. Prime time, 4:30 time slot. Last game, obviously with the buys and the 2 Friday games. There is only 2 games on Saturday, but this should be a good game again. Melbourne obviously playing pretty convincingly on the weekend against Hawthorn. They just controlled that midfield and their transitions were really, really good. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Port Adelaide took pretty good control over Richmond. Obviously, they were losing by, I think, 11 at halftime, but then they just pulled away in this one last week against Richmond. So this one should be a pretty even contest again, sort of like the St Kilda Essendon game, but I think it will be much better. I'm going to go with Port Adelaide. I'm really debating this now. I think this is going to be close. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with the D's. I'm going to go with the D's to go. They're going to go 3-1. I'm going to go with the D's by 11. I've changed my tip there a little bit. I've changed my mind. I just think that Power, they obviously have a chance to go 3-0. By the way, I think there are like 6 teams that's 2-0. Wow, maybe the comp won't be as close this year. Well, at least it's only the start of the year. Probably plan out later on. But yeah, I'm going to go with Melbourne to win there by 11. A little bit of an upset win, you could say. Next up at Dockland Stadium, we have the Dogs taking on West Coast. Now, obviously, last time at Marvel, West Coast bet the Dogs after a 100-point loss to Fremantle. So anything could happen in this game. I'm just saying it. If the West Coast somehow beat the Dogs again, I would almost say they have a lucky streak against the Dogs because I just can't see it again. Them beating the Dogs. I don't know how they bet the Dogs last time, but I'm sorry, Dogs fans. Let's get into the positives for you. They were absolutely amazing against the Suns. They sort of need that bounce-back win because last year when they went 0-2, it's probably what cost them these close finishes in finals. You know, if they can get better starts, the Dogs, to the season, they probably could rack up 13 or 14 wins and pretty much just confirm a final spot after pretty much round 20, like the Saints did last year. West Coast, on the other hand, looking pretty poor, 0-2. Obviously come up against some tough opponents in Port and GWS. You can't say that they have been overly poor, but obviously it was still pretty poor to lose by 65 in the end. I think this one should be an easy win for the Dogs. It's just almost really a matter of how much they win by. But I am going to go with the Dogs here to go with a bit of a blowout, a 39-point win. I don't think it's going to be that much. I think, obviously, with the Dogs, Nick Caulfield, again, disappointingly, he's done his shoulder. But I'm going to go with the Dogs by 39. There should be an easy win. Next up, we head over to the MCG, where the Swans are opposite to Richmond. So many opposite games on form. Richmond are 0-3, Swans are 3-0. I actually think the Tigers should put up a fight. Really, when you look at their game against Port, I just knew it wouldn't be around that 40-point margin because Tigers, I don't think they'll be winning many games. I have them finishing 7-8, but they'll still be competitive. It's not like they're going to get blown out the water every time. Sydney, on the other hand, I just can't see them losing, really, any of their games. Maybe against Gold Coast, but I think I could almost put money on Sydney going 7-0. Just considering that fixture up until round 8, I think they have a pretty easy fixture in my eyes, but I think this is going to be a pretty decent game. It shouldn't be too much of a win by Sydney, but I'm going to go with the Swans by 23. I think Richmond should be able to maintain a bit of the game, but yeah, I think the Swans will just pull away in the end and win by 23. And the final game of the round, the Monday game, the Easter Monday game between Hawthorn and the Geelong, and Hawthorn 0-2 and Geelong 2, and obviously the Cats, if they go 3-0, I personally just back them in to go all the way to finals, really. You know, they've beaten St Kilda and Adelaide, obviously great win in Adelaide, upset win there. Hawthorn, they just looked pretty poor against Melbourne, to be honest, and with this tough fixture, I think this one should be close. I don't think it will be a blowout game. I actually think it will be close. I decently rate it, but I think I just have to go with the Cats. They are just the better side in the end. I'm going to go with the Cats by 19. I think Hawthorn should be able to put up a bit of a fight on the Monday game. Hopefully it's not an 80-plus win. I think 82 points Geelong won by last time after a pretty good, solid halftime performance from the Hawks. But then the Cats just blew them out the water to get their first win. I'm going to go with the Geelong to win by 19 and for them to go 3-0. So, that's going to wrap up the video. Let's go through the tips. I'm going to go with Brisbane by 7. Pies are going 0-4. Brisbane going 1-2, getting their first win. North in an upset, okay? Do I change that tip? No. Sorry, Carlton fans. The Crows by 13. The Saints by 15. Come on, the Saints. Get their second win of the year to go 2-1 for a great start. Melbourne by 11. Dogs by 39, Sydney by 23, and the Cats by 19. Obviously, the buys for this week will be GWS and Gold Coast. So, yeah, that'll be interesting there. But thanks, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. So, yeah.